with all new episodes of Highway Through Hell at 8 and Heavy Rescue at 9, Sunday nights on the Weather Channel.
All right, welcome back to Weather Center Live. We're continuing to track the threat of severe thunderstorms. We did have a tornado warning before the break. That's been allowed to expire right now, but it is very telling that the atmosphere in a few spots is going to be favorable for storms to produce some wind damage and a few tornadoes. We're especially watching you right now into central parts of Mississippi, and then this will all head east into Alabama, Tennessee, and eventually into Georgia. Toricons are low, but they're there, and we are seeing some storms rotating. So a 3 for a toricon, which is a 30% chance of a tornado within that 30-mile radius in central Mississippi. On the northern tier of all of this, Mabel's bringing down some good snow across parts of the Midwest and into the Great Lakes. This should bring a swath of 3 to 5 inches north of the Interstate 70 corridor. This then makes its way into the Northeast, and we might get a nice little boost here off Lake Erie with some enhancement of 5 to 8 inches between Cleveland and Buffalo. The big cities, the megalopolis, will have some travel delays, but not a whole heck of a lot of snow. Up to an inch if you're lucky, Boston, but strikeout for you in places like New York City and Philadelphia. So Mabel continue to make its trek off towards the east. Another coast-to-coast storm, Chris, that started out across parts of the West.
That's right, and as we look right now at a cold and snowy scene here in White Rock, New Mexico, we can see and kind of judge that you got a couple to a few inches of snow right here, and I think in some areas, shovelable snow, something maybe for the horses to kick around in just a little bit, if you happen to have some horses. Meanwhile, looking at and feeling something totally different here in Fort Lauderdale. Get the metal detector out and see what the tourists left behind. Cruising around or going for a nice walk on the beach with a nice breeze. Got to be careful though on the beach with the breeze, because you might not realize that you are burning because that breeze just kind of keeps you just cool enough. Wind at Fort Lauderdale gusting at 26, blowing at 20, sustained. And it's warm also and looking pretty nice. Look at the bright colors here. The blue skies overhead, even the breaking waves have kind of a little pop to them. 80 degrees and winds a little bit calmer in Cocoa Beach. 6-mile-an-hour winds. And it's going to be near record warmth across parts of Florida. In fact, this warm air is making it all the way into the southeast and really helping to set the stage for some of this severe weather. And you can see the flow from the south to the north. And oftentimes you can get an idea what your weather is going to be like when you figure out where it's coming from. And you can track this flow all the way back to around the Bahamas, pushing into Florida. And as it does, we're seeing those temperatures climb as well. Near record or at record-breaking temperatures today and possibly again tomorrow. Here's a look at the forecast for tomorrow with a hint that things are going to be changing as well. Pensacola dropping off into the upper 60s, still mid-80s in Jacksonville. And how about this for a slap in the face in Jacksonville? 23 degrees cooler for a daytime high from Thursday to Friday. You go from 85 to 62. Much, much cooler. Meanwhile, still warm, if not hot, in West Palm Beach. If you take away a little bit of wind, it's going to feel toasty. 80 degrees and just about right there in Key West. So dealing with some warmth and some dramatic changes depending on where you are in Florida. But you know what? Let's soak it in. Let's take another look, shall we, at Fort Lauderdale. Strolling along. Jackie would be taking her deep breaths right here on a mat, doing a little yoga.
Totally.
Good stuff.
Just a little sunshine, right? Face the sun.
Face the sun.
Send your hands out.
Then find a tiki bar on the Intercoastal and watch the sunset.
That sounds lovely.
Doesn't that sound all right?
I'm in.
All right. You know what? I can almost hear the palms rustling around here.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your moment of zen for the day, everybody. I hope you loved it, right? So this will shock your system. From that to this, what they're dealing with across parts of the northern plains. This is Grand Forks, North Dakota. The good news is your blizzard warning is over with.
We got that going for us.
Yeah, and the bad news, your temperatures are brutal. In fact, dangerously cold. In fact, the feels like temperature now 47 degrees below zero. 47 below. I did not misspeak. We've got a wind chill warning in effect for you. Grand Forks down towards Fargo, down towards Sioux Falls, Mason City, about the western half of Minnesota under the warning, and the advisory stretches down to just around the Kansas City area where this Arctic air is going to be heading, moving southward. So look at these numbers. This is right now what the temperature your body is feeling. 10 below in Duluth. Minneapolis, it's starting, hasn't quite gotten there just yet. You're 14 below in Sioux Falls, and you've got 19 below in Pierce, South Dakota. So this is just a taste of what is going to be the coldest air of the season in many of these spots, and that cold air will advance southward and it will begin to spread off towards the east. Look at places like Chicago. You're up there well into the 20s. In fact, we're well into the 30s today. How about 7 when you wake up on Thursday morning? How about as we head towards Thursday night? Yeah, so look at that. Your temperatures actually going down during the day, Chicago, to -4 for the PM rush, and you get into the double digits below zero for feels like temperatures as we head into Friday morning. Friday morning should be the worst of the core of the cold air in the Midwest, and then it's the Northeast turn.